Hey guys, I'm excited to present something a little different for you today. This is a project I've been waiting to do for a very long time, and I'm proud to say that today I am releasing part 1 of a new limited run series here on Me, Myself, and I, the Blade Runner Electric Dream Starter Set Case File by Free League. Now, this project is a little different from the others I've done on this channel. For one thing, this isn't a solo endeavor. This is a traditional game setup. I ran the game for 3 players, 2 of whom are patrons of the channel, in real space, around a real table. And importantly, they are not professional actors, they're just regular players, which I frankly appreciate. As usual, I did all the multi-camera photography and editing myself, but for this one I had little help in some key areas. My friend Andy operated a roving handheld camera. You'll occasionally see him in the background in some shots. One of my players, Ty, helped me compose an original score for the music. And the other 2 players, Travis and Nav, they both provided and painstakingly painted the miniatures we're using for the game. And of course, the starter set itself comes with absolutely beautiful handouts and props. That's actually what inspired me to shoot this project in the first place. I mean, some of these handouts feel like they could come right off the movie set themselves, they're so good. We shot this whole adventure over the course of one day, breaking it up into 4 sessions, but I've taken the final version and cut it into several smaller parts, the first of which you're about to see. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this was a gargantuan undertaking, easily the biggest project I've ever done on this channel. Multi-channel audio setups, new lighting, additional camera angles, it was huge. But despite a few technical issues, and of course the occasional forgotten rule, I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out. But before we begin, I do need to issue a massive spoiler warning. If you are planning on being a player in this starter set adventure, I urge you to turn back now and only come back to watch this after you've played in your version of it. However, once you are done, it'd be kind of cool to hear the comparisons between how our game turned out and how your game turned out. Maybe you want to leave those in the comments below. Thanks for joining me here today for this exciting new experiment, and a very big thank you to all of my patrons and YouTube channel supporters who made all this possible. As always, without your support, there would be no channel. So, without further ado, Me, Myself, and I presents part 1 of Blade Runner Electric Dreams. Okay, so this is the Blade Runner role-playing game, Case File Electric Dreams, the starter set. So, as you know, we are not using the pre-gens. We've created our own characters. So before we get into anything, let us talk a little bit about those characters. So let's start with, we'll start with you, Travis, over here. Who are you playing?
My character's name is Malcolm Carroll. He's been on the force for 14 years, so a little bit of a veteran there. He lives nearby the HQ in Anemoid Row. He's sort of a little bit eccentric, not too much into technology, sort of appreciates what we'd call old world things. But he is somewhat open to these new Nexus 9s coming in. He's always been fascinated by the replicants that were on the force. And Malcolm's key memory is from his childhood. He remembers carrying this box. It's just a little wrap box, looks, you could have anything in it. Up these little wooden temporary steps into a sort of a trailer, like an ICU container trailer that's part of like a construction site. Leaving the box there and then walking off, and just the memory always ends with this concussive blast hitting him from behind and just throwing him. So,
and he was a kid when this happened, wasn't it?
He was a kid.
Yeah. And the signature item?
Signature item he keeps is it's on a bracelet, and it's just a little disc. It has a little hole punched in it. It looks like there was some engraving on it. It's kind of worn down quite a bit. And if somebody were to really put it under the microscope, they'd probably see that it's an old emblem of the Second Sons, which was kind of a radical eco-terrorist group.
All right.
From 20 years
times.
Ago. Yeah.
Pre-blackout.
Yeah.
Pre-blackout.
Yeah. And the key relationship?
Key relationship is his overbearing, somewhat tropey nag of a wife. He acknowledges that.
Does she?
She does not.
And what about you, Ty? Who are you?
All right, we've got Crispin Moreau here. He's an analyst. Kind of slight, a little lanky, what's the word, nondescript, little messy hair, glasses, that sort of thing. He's been on the force for maybe just under a year at this point.
Rookie.
Very rookie. Kind of like barely past the physical, sort of.
Yeah, he's
hard to get
analyst.
in there.
He's not a big tough guy.
Yeah, and he has kind of a very intense interest of replicants. He's very curious about them and why maybe humans would want to make replicants rather than just machines that have like a million arms and legs that can just do whatever. Key memory.
Yeah.
So we rolled on the table, and it was his brother's sacrifice in the Kipple wasteland left him terrified of something.
He was pretty young when that happened.
Yeah, it was some years ago, like before he would have ever like gone off to university or anything like that. He was in his teens or something.
And just as a quick reminder too, when you interact with your key memory, that gives you, I don't know,
Advantage on.
It lets you
Recover
gives you advantage
stress.
on a skill roll.
on a skill run. You can do that once per session.
Per
I
session.
think. Okay.
And subsequently, his signature item is his brother's class ring. That he took from him. So his brother's dead, sacrificed so that he would be able to get away out of the Kipple. And it's kind of left him a little shaky, a little bit paranoid, and that's why he carries a 357 subcompact rather than the standard issue subsonic rounds or whatever.
Sweet.
Yeah, and the signature item, once per game session, you can use it to immediately recover 1 point of stress if you interacted in some significant way. And also the key relationship.
He is in love, or from a distance. She doesn't know he exists with another officer.
Right. Whose name is
That's
Leah.
Leah.
And finally, over here we have a replicant character. Ooh.
Yeah, this is DKT 938. She goes by Dakota, and she is a rookie as well. She's fresh off the force, top of her class.
As all replicants are, as they were just introduced a year ago.
That's right. She's a Nexus 9, and she is a go-getter. She's a doxy, so she is programmed for all kinds of tactical combat and special ops, and she is fiercely devoted to her job. She's a true law enforcer with the emphasis on enforcer. So she's fiercely dedicated,
And what's the key memory?
So her key memory is interesting. So
It's false because she's a replicant.
of course, this is the memory that has been implanted in her. Some years back in a foreign land, surrounded by crowds speaking a language that she didn't understand, a throng of faceless people psychologically abused her and made her feel tempted. So there's a cocktail of a memory there. Lots to play with. Her key relationship is there's a neighbor in the apartment complex where she lives. This neighbor is a former Tyrell engineer, and she's also a replicant sympathizer. So she's ill. She's dying of some kind of degenerative disease, but she has become very close to Dakota, and Dakota trusts her. And her signature item, she carries with her a Nexus 6 emotional normalization manual. So she's studying her prey to a certain degree, but it also is a document or a manual that helps her to understand emotions and how emotions work in former replicant models. So
All right, good. A couple of additional things for each of you. One, actually, I won't tell you yours just yet, but you, because of your relationship with Leah, such as it is, you know a little bit about her. They would call her a cop on the edge, that she's pretty unstable emotionally and mentally sometimes. She can be a real handful, which probably is one of the reasons why you can't get close to her, as close as you might like. And for you, Malcolm, you have a history of bad blood with a fella by the name of Jella Shylar, who is the replicant-hating editor of Kill magazine. So there's a group of people in the city called they're basically human supremacists, and they're really against replicants, especially the new ones. And this fella, Jella Shylar, he makes this magazine called Kill magazine, which is a physical magazine because this is Blade Runner. And he's the editor of it, and he hates replicants. You have a bad history with him.
Good.
Okay, so basically, as I said, it is Blade Runner, which means that there are still newspapers in the world, as you can see here. So we're not going to run through this prelude scene exactly, but I'm just going to give each of you one of these to have a look at, because this has information, all the latest news, fit to print. You don't have to go over every little piece of this, but as you can see, this prop here that Free League has provided is pretty cool. It looks like it'd be something out of the movie. Yeah. So this is a news sheet that you're all familiar with. You would have read this. This is like today's news kind of thing. And just familiarize yourself with a little bit of the sort of the main headlines there. You can keep access to this at any time. You can refer back to it. The three of you have been summoned essentially to the LAPD headquarters, to Deputy Chief Holden's office. Chief Holden, by the way, is the guy in the first Blade Runner movie who's interviewing Leon. He's doing the Voight-Kampff test with Leon, and Leon shoots him. So that guy survived, turns out, and had his lungs rebuilt. And now he's deputy chief all these years later. Of course, as we know, this takes place halfway between the two movies. So in any event, you guys have been summoned to Deputy Chief Holden's office, and the three of you are sitting there. The ceiling fans churn the smoke-filled air. The aging Holden behind his desk, wheezing from the synthetic lungs he got after being shot and nearly killed by the replicant Leon Kowalski 18 years earlier. As you walk in, he says, sit down, sit down, sit down. There's 3 chairs. We have an urgent situation. Last night, there was a shooting in Sector 1 in a sordid place called the Snake Pit on Nightclub Row. 2 Nexus 9 Blade Runners were there. Serial numbers LH3-793 and SN9-148. Codenames Leah and Sandor. Maybe you've seen them around. He kind of gives you a meaningful look. Anyway, Sandor was shot dead, and Leah is now missing. We have no idea where she is. And at that point, he gives you these data files on Leah and Sandor. They went to the Snake Pit to investigate suspected Nexus 8 activity, but we don't know if that's what triggered the shooting. According to local cops at the scene, witnesses said there were human supremacists at the Snake Pit last night. Maybe that had something to do with it. We just don't know. I guess we'll read all about it in that sleazy tabloid Kill tomorrow. You need to figure this out, and fast. I got the brass breathing down my neck on this. As you know, and he looks at you, the Nexus 9 replicants were approved for use on Earth just last year, and mistrust against the reps is running high. If someone out there is killing and kidnapping Nexus 9s, we need to find them and stop them, fast. Now add to that, the Wallace Corporation is pushing us hard on this. Their business depends on this new breed of replicants, and anything that jeopardizes that would be a major blow to their bottom line. They're letting us run this investigation, but they've offered their assistance. Their PR manager, Quell, is expecting you at Wallace Corp HQ to tell you more about Leah. Play nice with them. I mean it. Now, you can play this any way you like. Split up to cover more ground if you need to. I don't care, as long as I get results. And fast. You have the full resources of the Rep Detect unit at your disposal. Sandor's body is being processed down in the crime lab right now. Of course, you can check the LAPD mainframe for personnel files on Sandor and Leah, and any Esper footage of the Snake Pit last night. I don't know, maybe you'll get lucky. I've uploaded to your KIA all relevant information that we have so far, so unless there's any other questions, get out of here and take care of this.
Yes, sir. Of course.
We got it, Chief.
Chief Holden, is there any need to keep this on the down low?
Yes,
The Wallace Corporation is extremely sensitive about anything to do with the Nexus 9s. I'm sure that Quelby will be able to fill you in on more details about that.
Understood. We'll handle it with care.
I hope so.
I have a quick question, Chief. Has anyone contacted Gela Shilaw to see if we might be able to put a muzzle on him for just a day?
No, you're the first ones here. This happened just last night, and you guys are gonna be first on the scene, so as I said, you decide to handle this however you want. If you need to talk to him, no doubt he'll be at the Kill magazine office.
Could we perhaps get a copy of the reports or leads that they had that they were going to investigate?
Any information will be in the database on them. I haven't had time to pull anything. That'll be up to you.
Okay.
All right, time's a wasting. Get out there. Get this done.
All right, so it is morning shift of day 1. So just to recall how this works, if you go, there's 4 shifts in a day. You have to rest or do downtime at least 1 shift, whether that's at home or out drinking or whatever your character does. If you don't do that, you start to suffer stress. Okay, when that is totally up to you, but it has to be at least 1 during the 4 shifts. In terms of investigation, you can go to any location you want, but visiting a location takes up a shift. So if all 3 of you go to the same location, that's the shift, and only 1 location has been visited, right? So it might be in your interest to split up, but it's totally up to you. Again, with your KIAs, you can communicate with each other freely. So I leave it up to you, Blade Runners.
I think I'll take a look at the crime lab and maybe hit up the database if I have enough time.
Well, as much as I'd like to go down and put a boot in old Jella, personally, I think we got to get to this crime scene as soon as possible.
It seems prudent. Let's get there and interview. Find out what people know while the memories are fresh.
So the 2 of you are going to the crime scene?
Okay. Yeah, we can access the database on the way.
Okay, well, let's deal with the crime lab first. So you make your way, you go into the elevator, and it takes you all the way down, because of course the LAPD headquarters is this gargantuan building. Okay, this is Coco. This is Coco. He is the guy at the crime lab, who of course is fated to die in the next Blade Runner movie.
Sorry, Coco.
So the crime lab and morgue of the Replicant Intelligence and Technology, the RIT division, are situated in the LAPD tower, and the unofficial LAPD office cat Biscuits, artificial of course, it's not a real cat, are there. You know that neither of these creatures ever really venture outside of the lab. So when you walk in, Coco he's got his lab coat on, he's sort of analyzing various things, and he looks up at you. Agent Moreau.
Yes. Hi.
How can I be of assistance?
I was here to investigate the body of one Sandor.
You are looking for information on Agent SN 9-148.
That's the one.
Okay. He goes over, he pulls out, and there you can see there's a body under a sheet. He pulls back the sheet, and you can see, in fact, that fella right there, who is clearly no longer with us. Immediately, you can see that he has a large hole in his chest.
Ooh. I'd like to examine the wound itself to see if I can identify what caused it, like if I can identify like entry point.
Sure. Just give me a medical aid roll. And you can do this with advantage, we'll say, because Coco is right there.
Okay.
So this is our first roll of the game. Huzzah.
Cool. So
You
that
take
is a
your-
D8, or I have a D12 for my intelligence.
D12 for your intelligence.
And I have a
what's the
C
skill?
in medical aid, so that'd be a D8.
That's
And with
a D8.
advantage, that'd be a second D8.
Yes, a second lower. And you're just looking for 1 success.
Booyah.
2
successes.
Okay, well that is a critical success.
Okay.
Not that it really matters in this particular case, but right away you notice, like it's extremely clear to you that Sandor was shot point blank with a large caliber weapon, and it seems that the bullet went right through his chest.
Oof. That was all the way through. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
and Coco tells you, yes, we were, as of yet, unable to recover the bullet, so we're not able to do any analysis on it.
I see.
With that critical roll, he was shot in the back.
Oh, from behind. I see. So, ugh.
Yeah, ugh is right.
Sorry, guy.
Let's pause you there for a second as we go now to the LAPD Black Spinner Detective Special that flies through the city, and you guys make your way to the crime scene, the Snake Pit.
Yeah, here's Sector 1.
Okay.
Likely, yep, Snake Pit right here.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So there's Nightclub Row, it's that, and then we've got the Kill magazine.
The Snake Pit. There's the map of the Snake Pit. So, this is before you get there, but you know that this variety club is infamous for its strong drinks, 5-star entertainment, and sordid history. Back in 2019, one of their performers was retired on the street, later revealed as a fugitive Nexus 6 conspirator behind the infamous 2019 Tyrell Corporation murder spree. The owner, Taffy Lewis, spun the infamy into free publicity, turning his sultry club into a sensation. The pit still attracts the best stage performers around, mostly because half the audience works at the nearby agencies. So as your spinner comes down, you know, there's the smoky streets and there's people everywhere. And as soon as the spinner sort of touches down, you can see that outside the building, there is a police line and there's a small crowd of gawkers. Okay, again, this is very recent that this happened, okay? So you set down, you know, basically like half a block away, thing. And yeah, small crowd of people outside, police line. You can see an LAPD cop who's also there, just sort of like, you know, doing the whole nothing to see here, move along kind of thing.
So Officer Carroll is a vet, right? So I'm a rookie. I'm a rookie replicant, so Dakota will step out and she'll say, Officer Carroll, it looks like another mess at the Snake Pit. We need to canvass. How do you want to go about and do this?
Well, let's go on up and see if we can delegate all the menial tasks, make sure everything's being covered by the force, and we'll go get to the good stuff. He's gonna walk up to the first officer he sees. Is there a field commander on this site?
He kind of looks around. We were kind of told that you guys would be handling us.
Okay.
Considering it's a whole, skin job thing.
Well, how many do you
No
have?
offense.
How many officers do you have?
There's 3 of us on site. 3 uniforms.
Give me an observation roll.
Sure.
Success.
1 success.
Okay, there is one particular man in the crowd who is paying quite a bit of attention to you. He looks like that. A bald guy, kind of big, brawny looking. And when he sees you sort of notice him, he begins to push his way through the crowd towards you, almost trying to get like your attention. And he comes to the front of the crowd and he says, Officer, I saw the whole thing.
Oh? What's your name?
Styles is my name.
Mr. Styles, what can you tell us?
Well, I was at the club last night. I was a guest at the club, and there was a brawl that erupted when some replicant haters started jeering at Iris, the N9 dancer on stage. She's one of the best around. But these sons of bitches came in and started hucking bottles and stuff. Anyway, next thing I know, there's a gunshot and everybody panics and flees into the night.
Mr. Styles, how many of these rabble-rousers arrived?
It's hard to tell exactly, but I'm pretty sure that I saw Jealous Shylar. He's that guy who runs Kill magazine. Pretty sure I saw him in the crowd. In fact, I am sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him that was behind this whole thing. Whatever it is.
The editor of Kill magazine was one of the individuals who started the fight.
Yeah,
You're sure?
positive. I'm telling you, this is what happened. If there was anybody responsible for your dead Blade Runner friend, It's that guy.
And what happened after the fight?
There was a gunshot, everybody panicked. Next thing I know, there was this guy dead on the floor. He looked like one of you.
And Mr. Shylaw?
He ran out with everybody else, so I don't know. I don't know if he had a gun in his hand or not. It happened real quick. But I can tell you, it was those replicant haters. They were responsible for this.
Malcolm is going to take out. He's not right there with this conversation,
Okay.
but he's taking out his Esper camera and going around and just filming.
Just the outside?
Yeah, starting off with the outside as he walks in toward the.
Okay.
He's going to make his way toward the crime scene.
Okay, give me an insight roll.
Sure.
And I got you 3 ways.
All right, 1 success.
This guy Styles is not telling you the whole truth. Okay. So, over here, you're looking around. There's not a lot to see from outside, but the door to the main building is available for you. In fact, it's kind of half open, and you can see inside there's another uniformed cop who's sort of like standing around. And he's standing around, and there's another guy, an older man, who's basically berating the cop, saying, you know, come on, when is this over? I gotta open up. This is ridiculous. This is bad PR, man. Come on. Clear that line.
Taffy Lewis. Assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, yeah, you can see him. And there he is.
All right. Are there any other? All the civilians have been. They're outside.
Yeah, everybody's
out.
behind this police
It's-
line.
it's
They're still
just-
gawking and kind of, doing the thing. Oh, what happened here?
Are there any other? That third officer? Have I seen him yet? Or?
No, not yet. He'll be inside.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my camera going.
Oh, sorry, I lied. There was only 2 officers. There was a guy outside and the guy inside.
That's it.
Yep.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna keep the camera going. I'm gonna move in, kind of interject a little bit. Well, hello there, Mr. Lewis.
Okay. As you walk in, I just need to do this. So, yes, he's not telling you the entire truth. That's what you gain from your insight from this guy.
Mr. Styles, where will you be for the next 24 hours? We need to make sure that we can follow up with you.
Well, I never venture too far from here.
Make sure you are easy to be found.
Sure thing, officer.
Very well. Dakota wants to contact.
Okay, no problem.
Wants to contact Agent Moreau
On the KIA?
on the KIA.
Yep,
Is that exclusively voice, or is it? Can you send
just
that?
voice.
Okay.
I think. I'm not that familiar
I just
with
want to know what the parameters.
it.
of
I'm
this
pretty
are.
sure it's just voice.
All right. This is Agent Moreau.
Agent Moreau, DKT 938.
Oh, hi, Dakota.
Greetings. I need you to run a search on the Esper network, please.
Yeah, sure thing. I also have something for you guys while I, and it's gonna head toward the. Thanks, Coco. Anyway, like pets the cat real quick, before stepping into the elevator. There is the wound on Sander. It exited from the front, so he was shot from behind with a very, very, very high caliber weapon and something that's not, standard issue. You get my drift? It's, yeah.
I understand. He didn't see it coming. Interesting. Perhaps he was assassinated. We need to find motive.
Absolutely. It was pretty ugly. What do you need me to look up on the Esper?
I need you to please do a quick search on 2 individuals. I need to verify if one jealous Shylar was present at the snake pit last night. I also need you to do a quick background check on this Mr. Styles. I presume we got his first name, or is that...
That's his name.
That's just his name? Mr. Styles. Need to know if he was also present at the snake pit last night.
So just so you know, your whole first shift was at the crime lab, dealing with the body, because that's how that works. So if you want to do that second thing, that's going to be in the next shift. Okay. And also, I should point out, you were told specifically that Quell at Wallace wanted to talk to you guys. Okay, so as you walk into the snake pit, this is what
You see, the pit is empty except for the uniformed officer and the club owner, Taffy Lewis, who is talking to the officer. As Lewis is going on and on about, come on, I want to get this, I gotta get this over with. I want to get back up and running here. And the officer is just basically trying to dodge him as best he can to kind of stonewall him. He's like, I'm just here to keep the crime scene undisturbed. If you have any official complaints, you can register with the LAPD and stuff.
Okay, I'll step in and interject.
Okay.
I say, relax, Mr. Lewis. We both know this is the best thing that's happened to you in quite some time, perhaps since we retired that replicant so many years ago.
Right, okay. I get it.
You're gonna get your downtime, you're gonna have a nice little break, and then business will be booming as always.
Well, I certainly hope you are right, because this could look very bad. Now, is there something I could do to help you, officer, to expedite this whole procedure?
Well, absolutely. First off, I want to hear your version of events.
First of all, I didn't really see a whole lot. All I know is that Iris, my beautiful N9 dancer, was up on stage doing what she does best. And things got rowdy. There was a commotion. Something happened. It looked like somebody was confronting somebody else. There was a tall, sort of a pale, tall guy who was shouting, confronting some people, and then things got chaotic. And the next thing I know, a loud bang rings out, and when the smoke cleared, there was some guy bleeding on the floor. Panic erupted, of course. People ran to the doors, and I called the police. That's it.
And any personalities stand out from last night?
The dead guy.
Other than your regulars, anybody unusual, anybody unknown, anybody that might be known?
Well, there was 2 people in here that smelled a lot like cops, and that dead guy was one of them. There was somebody else with them. Don't really remember what they looked like.
We have the files with us, yeah.
Yeah, you have those.
You're referring to the female. What's the last you saw of her?
The female. Oh, yeah. Yeah, her. Yeah, I remember her. She was with the guy, the dead guy. I saw them both in here the night before. Yeah, they smelled like cops to me. They stayed at the bar just observing, not talking to anybody until the brawl broke out.
So the night before or last night?
I had seen him in here the night before as well.
Were they sitting at the bar then as well?
Yeah.
Same spot?
Yeah, but then last night when they were back, things got rowdy. There was a group of human supremacists that started jeering at Iris. That Jill Shilar guy publishes that Kill magazine. He was with them. I know that for sure.
Did they all arrive at the same time?
I don't think so. No. But I do know that that's when this pale, tall guy went up to Shilar and his goons and confronted them. Yeah, that guy, I've seen him before. His name's starts with an S, I think.
Is he a bald
headed
gentleman?
Yeah.
I think it was just hanging out front of your place. I think his name was Styles.
Styles, yeah, that's it. I don't know anything else about him.
So he's sort of an instigator.
Well, no, the brawl started out when these human supremacists, Giles, the Shilar guy, was throwing bottles at Iris. And next thing I know, this Styles guy and a couple of others, they come up, they confront them, and then there's a brawl, and then next thing I know, there's a bang. And when the smoke clears, this agent of yours, this other fella, he's lying on the ground, everybody panics, and everybody leaves. I didn't see who pulled the trigger, and frankly, I don't care very much. I just want to get back to business and open the club back up.
Well, I might take back what I said before. It does seem like you may have a little bit of negligence here. Where are your people when your dancers are having bottles thrown at them?
I was in the process of dealing with the situation. But then what happened was there was 2 obvious cops in here and guns started being shot. So I had to deal with my people the way I do best, which is to ensure that they don't get involved in an unnecessary police shooting. We wouldn't want a case of police brutality brought down upon the department now, would we, officer?
So you didn't have any bounces on the floor?
They couldn't get there in time.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over, filming all along, get some shots of the blood,
Okay.
the splatter, look for prints
So,
in and out.
this is how this works. You have a picture of exactly what is in the room. So there are clues in that picture that you can investigate.
All right. What do we see? What do we see?
I guess I shouldn't contribute because I am not here.
Well, you can be on the KIA. Yeah.
Is this just a bar tower that looks bigger than
Would I assume that they would have submitted this to the database or something?
That's up to them. These are the pictures you're taking. It's up to you to decide whether you're uploading it to the mainframe or not. So never make that assumption.
I can't see any reason why we wouldn't. Let's
At this point, that's
at this
probably
point
true.
let's upload this footage so that
So I can
Agent Crispin can have eyes on too.
Okay, so this footage goes to the mainframe. Got it.
Okay, so I see blood splatter from right to left. I see smashed mirror here. We need to look into here to see if we can find bullet casing or any kind of projectile that perhaps be the exit and resting place of the projectile. Could have been a stool. All right, so vantage points. Whoever was standing here, bartender, would have been able to see this. Whoever was on stage would have been able to see this.
I want to know where at the bar the 2 were, and then we can figure out who was beside them, who was around them, because there's DNA all over all of these damn artifacts.
And the Esper is only on the outside of the building, right? It's not.
Yeah.
I was hoping that
to
you could
get
examine
ingress.
who went in and who went out.
And we need to take definite samples of the blood.
Okay, so if you do, there is a large pool of semi-dried blood on the floor. You know that a sample of that can be taken over to the crime lab where he is right now. It would probably take a shift from them for them to do an analysis on it.
So check the mirror, check the trajectory of the blood in which the direction it's spattered in to see if you can find the projectile.
Well, let's just examine. Okay, yes to that.
And then check the bar for any of the disturbed contents and see if it matches to where.
broken bottle? That's either blood or wine.
And then call witnesses for whoever was on stage and whoever was behind the bar.
Yes, to all the above. That's exactly right.
Taffy kind of walks by you. Tick-tock, I got things to do. He walks into the back.
So Dakota will take samples of the blood on the floor, and it looks like if there's blood on the bar, we want to. I can't tell if there is
Blood or wine?
That's spilt.
It's spilled drink. Okay, so samples of the blood, and then she'll examine the wall for projectile.
The wall.
The smashed.
Oh, the mirror.
mirror.
Okay, so this is a large cracked mirror on the wall. You guys know what you're doing. You don't have to make particular rolls about this, but you can see as you're sort of examining it that sure enough, there is a deformed bullet stuck in the wall behind the glass, the shattered glass.
Okay. Can it be extracted?
Yes.
Can we tell? Do we need to? We don't need to call anybody special in for that, do we?
No, you guys know how to do that.
Okay,
You can
so
extract the bullet.
we'll
but
extract it
again,
and see if we can
anything-
determine-
Any analysis has to be done at the crime lab.
Okay. We can't on site determine the caliber or determine if it's any kind of a special round or anything like
No.
that.
And it's deformed from impact, or
It looks to be, yes.
okay.
We'll take it, log it, note it
Okay.
in the KIA.
So to be clear, you're taking the information and uploading it to the mainframe. Mm-hmm. Okay. And also, it's obvious, you can see definite signs of the struggle here. You can see broken bottles, damage to the interior, signs of the bar brawl. So it was,
And where is, what was her name? It's not Lilith. It's
Iris or
Iris.
Iris.
Yeah, Mr. Lewis. Where would I find Iris?
She's in a dressing room. She'd prefer not to be disturbed. She's very shaken up by what happened last night.
Well, I'm sure she is, but As you realize, I don't think there's any way to avoid a quick interview.
Quick being the operative word, officers. Quick. But you know what? If she lets you in, that's her business. You're on your own. Dressing room 2, down the hall.
Would you like to go and talk to her?
Oh, it'd be my privilege.
I'm not one to go tromping around dressing rooms.
I will handle it.
Okay. So, you go back to dressing room 2. The door is shut.
Knock on the door.
Who is it?
LAPD, ma'am.
Not interested. Go away.
Iris, I need you to open the door, please. This will only take a moment. I promise.
You hear what is an audible sigh from the other side of the door, and then footsteps, and the door opens, and Iris, a Nexus 9 replicant, very beautiful dancer, appears, and the two of you.
Yeah.
Outstanding. All right.
What do you want? Everybody's from New York here for some reason. It's supposed to be a line. She's smoking intensely. Like, she opens the door, she immediately turns around, goes and sits in front of her dressing room, and she's smoking, just basically like ignoring you.
Miss, my name is Officer DKT 938.
She rolls her eyes at that.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but I need to ask you a few questions. I understand from the owner, Mr. Lewis, that you were present last night during the incident.
Yes, I was on stage.
Would you mind telling me what you recall? Time is of the essence, and we want to document this while the memory is fresh. I'm sure you understand.
What I recall is that a bunch of human supremacists came in and started jeering at me and throwing bottles at me. That's what I recall. Before I know it, there's a brawl that breaks out and everything goes crazy. Then there's a gunshot and I flee back here to the dressing room.
Oh dear, I trust you were unharmed.
Do I look like I was harmed?
Oh, perhaps a little stressed.
Yeah, stressed. You can tell she just does not want to talk to you.
Did you happen to notice who was starting the brawl?
Manipulation roll.
That's a D8 and a D10. We got cameras, eye rolls.
We do.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Not ideal.
We're gonna push.
Okie dokie. So you re-roll the one that does not show the unicorn.
The one that does not.
Yes, because that's going to be stress.
Oh, no.
2. Okay, so
Replicants can push twice.
That's
Well,
true.
you can't.
That's true. Oh, you can't now because they're both. So you suffer 2 stress.
Holy cow.
Stay on the job.
You can, so she is. There's something about her replicant demeanor that is pushing a button in you, but you know that she does not want to talk to you. Maybe it's because you're a replicant she doesn't want to talk to you. You're pretty sure you're not going to get anything further out of here. Good thing you're not alone in this investigation.
Yeah, no kidding.
And you stressed out that a replicant was treating you with disdain.
Incels interlinked.